next on the list here, Dark. What do you have for us?
I have a manga original called Mou Ippon, or On Again. And this is a series about I'm not even gonna read the synopsis yet. It's just about it's judo. It's high school
Yeah.
judo.
Yeah, it's just high
Um,
school judo. What's also I just want to point something out. The visuals in this series, it's like they have a lot more of like the roundish faces, right? Which kind of make give it like a different feel in a sense.
yeah, it's
You know what I
very
Wow,
mean?
strange.
Are you
Yeah,
saying they're
it's like a
fat?
childish. Yeah, it's like the baby fat. They have a lot of like the baby fat face, which gives it definitely a different feeling, in my
How
opinion.
old are they? Is this like middle school or high school?
It's high
High
school
school
or
first
no?
year.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But
That's
anyway,
Well,
sorry.
actually, I think it's spread. Most of the cast is first year
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like the series like kind of starts out with one of them being like, oh, it's our last judo tournament forever because I'm quitting in
Classic.
high school.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that doesn't happen. Spoiler alert. But
Classic.
yeah, so to get to I guess the synopsis is the happy-go-lucky Michi Sonata announces to her teammate, Sanae Takigawa, that she will quit judo for good after the final middle school tournament. Sanae is in disbelief, considering that she's the one who like roped her into doing judo in the first place. And they wind up doing a what's it called? Sanae during the tournament wins her first match, and then Sonata is like about to win. And then when Sanae like makes the like a wrong call that she got an Ippon finally, she sort of like falters and then gets chokehold held by another girl, loses, and there's like a video going around of her making a very stupid face because she gets knocked unconscious.
Nice. Is she now ruined? Is
No,
her high school life
so
now ruined?
what happens is the girl who so like kind of like fast forwarding a little bit as they're talking about that when they go to I think it's like the first day of high school or something like that, they wind up finding not only that first of all they want to do judo again, the high school judo club is being shut down essentially because there's like there's literally no members.
Mhm.
um and they're also the girl who knocked her unconscious by choking her in middle school tournament is going to their high school. And so they kind of wind up just all teaming up and reforming the judo club. And it kind of just takes off from there. And so the girl, I should probably go with, the four main characters, not really five. I used the thumbnail with five, but we're like 7 episodes in, and this girl, Samugi, hasn't actually been introduced yet. So not really going to count her that much, even though they go, oh, she's a main. She's not in half the show. So whatever. So let's see.
between
So
the
our four mains is Sanada Michi, Hira Toa, who is the one that choked her in middle school, Sanae Takigawa.
Did she like it though?
Yeah, because she likes people who are good at judo
Oh,
and just
okay.
has fun doing judo. And then there is Anna, Aguma Anna, who starts out again. Spoiler alert. They all do judo by the end of this. She starts out as a I can't think of it. The sword fighting.
Kendo.
Kendo.
Yeah, she's a kendo. She's in the kendo club, and she's gone to like nationals, stuff like that. And then halfway through, she's kind of like, I kind of just want to do judo because she's wants to spend more time with Michi before
Okay.
before they're like done with high school. She was like, these are like our last 3 years that we're realistically going to be like, this close essentially.
Last 3
Right.
years are gonna be alive.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of just goes from there with a pretty typical sports series. Realistically, it's
How typical? Like,
tournaments.
is it realistic or like there's some cool superpowers?
No, it's realistic. Like Michi
Uh,
is extremely like limber and like does like reversals essentially by
hold on.
doing
When
like flips around them and shit essentially. But like you can do that. Like it's not like you
did
can't.
they
Like
mention
it's
how limber she
impossible.
is?
I mean,
Like
no,
when
no,
they
it's not
mention
like
like
power level.
they,
It's like she's
when
just
they mention
very like acrobatic essentially.
Yeah.
when they mention like being limber and supple in anime and manga, I think of what Joji Morikawa said about that, and I'm like, that might not fly anymore. Do you
Yeah,
remember
you
what he
also
said?
can't. No,
Do you remember that Jason Ozma fight?
no.
No.
The one where more near. Do you remember that fight?
For what?
The Jason Ozma fight in Ippo, where they were talking about a.
Well, look,
I'm
either way,
trying
Yeah,
to.
it's been a
ultimately,
long time since I've read Ipo, so.
All right, just continue.
ultimately, this is extremely like basic vanilla sports school stuff. Not there's like
Uh-huh.
nothing really more here.
Yeah,
Which I don't think is
there's not even
necessarily a
that like
bad thing.
trivia,
Kinda.
right? There's not even that much trivia. It's mostly
There's
about the
like
girls in the club.
some trivia for like judo, but it's like realistically, like how much judo trivia are you gonna like spit at people?
That is true.
It's like yeah, you wear a fucking gi and you throw people to the ground, and if they land
Well,
on their
they're
back, it's an
they're
Ippon.
like the different like techniques or whatever, right?
Martial artists
Yeah, yeah,
blown
yeah.
the
So
fuck out, dude.
yeah, whatever. But like you get what I mean. It's like there's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that much trivia because like ultimately it's judo. Like you can go over like a lot of stuff and like technique and stuff, but I feel like it kind of blends together. You're not gonna be going over like
Agree with. I just want to take this time to apologize to any viewers that are members of channels like
I'm just
it's
saying
like,
it's not like they like
hey,
they
Yeah, you
can't
just
go
got
over
they're
like
like,
you just
hey,
got
here's how we
Tiger
set
owned.
Dojo.
up.
You just got obliterated by a podcaster, dude.
MMA
Yeah.
Tiger Dojo of senseis or whatever. I
Yeah,
apologize.
you're nothing. You're nothing, dude. You just put on a gi and you throw people around.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think so. There's also
But so
a
ultimately
yeah.
like jokes aside, it's like there's no trivia really to go over when it's like they do some stuff with like the belts. They introduce that through like character interactions and stuff like that. But like what they can't do obviously is it's not like you can come out swinging with being like, yeah, here's trivia about like our setup, our club setup, or like
Hmm.
the like I guess you would call it like the field or like the arena. It's like no, it's just there. Like it's a fucking rectangle. Like
Right.
yeah, it has
So
boundaries.
so
Cool.
it's not
Like
a. So you're
it's not
saying
exactly trivia.
so you're saying it's not a cool sports anime. It's more of it's another girl club anime,
No, it's
but it's just judo.
extremely like a sports anime, but it's not like
But not
again, it's not
cool
like
sports.
it's not like sports anime or like a lot of the
Sports
time coming
trivia.
out here
I mean,
like rocking. No, I mean just like a sports anime is like coming out swing if it's like a vanilla one. Like if you think of like a basketball anime, like there's gonna be trivia, but it's not like crazy in depth like shit because it's basketball.
right. Okay.
It's the sport. Like they're just explaining the sport. Like so they go over like some judo moves, but they're not. Again, it's not fucking like I don't know. It's not like a hobby, like in the sense
Mhm.
of if you got like a fishing anime where you have not only fish trivia, but then you have all of the gear and like the social aspect of it and everything like that.
Right.
So I think I don't know. I think overall, like as a sports series, is fine. It's very standard in that regard. Um, but it's not like again, you're not gonna get like a ton of crazy trivia that you probably either wouldn't have already known or could just like kind of guess or expect.
Mhm.
It's not like they do a full breakdown realistically of like the entire sport of judo either. There are like they kind of like slowly drip feed that in if like you don't know like all of the rules of judo
Right.
rather than just like kind of setting up a match and then explaining to you the rules of judo right away. Which again I think is also fine. I think especially for pacing because it's like like you'll get people who want to watch this for like judo stuff or like want to watch this for like sports stuff for school. But ultimately you do want to get the sort of like girls in a club group in too.
Yeah.
So I think it balances that pretty well. And I think where the series like mostly kind of like shines in a way is sort of like is some of the character interactions paired with the dynamic between the matches and the audio visuals of some of the matches, which are quite nice. I don't
Yeah, the
think
the
the
animations, the parts where they specifically decide to like um
put all the
emphasize like
money.
the animations, but it's like yeah, put all the money in. It's very well like chosen. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
like the can like the steps specifically like when they plant their feet into the ground, and then like when they are just about to finish, like just about to complete the throw, and like the camera does like the rotation like behind them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like those are very well done. Those timings.
Yeah, because it's very much, it's very much like fully showing like how they're keeping their balance, how they're keeping their center of gravity, stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that, which again is very cool, is very nice. And overall, I think the series is just in general a good series. I don't think I have any like real complaints in that regard as far as like quality goes either. I think the one thing that could probably be better is more so the like just basic school parts. I don't think are doing a whole lot or do a whole lot. Um, there's only been like a few moments where the interactions outside of like a tournament or a match and stuff like that that really kind of feel like they have a as much of a presence as the dynamics like during matches.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I
overall,
think
I'm pretty
What's
happy.
the power level compared to other series?
Normal. They're human, extremely human.
So they can't. So it's not like. Well, I don't see them beating Baki in a fight. But like, what other high school girl fight scenes are there? So
I
can
don't
they
know.
beat
I don't.
an
I don't
average
even know of
soccer
like
player?
another. I would hope so. They're fucking judo like
Like I don't
folks.
see them beating the Blue Lock, but I can they beat the Futsal Boys?
Again, I would hope so. At judo, I would hope a judo club member could beat any just soccer club member at judo. Call me crazy, but I don't think
Can
that's a high
I
bar to set.
can I ask something real quick? I know that we made a distinction, or we usually make the distinction between um when we have these like girls in a club, right? We have sometimes make the distinction between having the amount of sports trivia and stuff and having, the girls in a club like doing the activity, but focusing a little bit more on the cast and their development with regards to, the sport or whatever it is, right? But more focusing on the girls themselves. So um, would you say a lot of the focus is sort of on the here and now with like how the girls are interacting with each other, or is it all one of those series where they kind of go into each of like the girls' backgrounds, like they take an episode into each of the girls' backgrounds and go like, oh, when I was a young girl, or like when I was
When I
younger,
was in a
like my
young girl,
mom.
I was in a judo accident.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
unironically, that. Yeah,
Yes, and that does unironically happen as well.
yeah.
With
So, which is the which is the focus
so
so far?
it's kind of like, so they do here and now for some stuff, but they kind of like set up matches with like importance based on like flashback type deals
Oh,
sometimes.
okay.
So, but it depends on how you count it, though, I guess, because the first sort of episode and the setup and stuff kind of does a lot for the first, for like Michi,
Mhm.
and how she's like not landed in Ippon. Like she's won matches based on like timeouts and
Oh,
points and
okay.
everything, but she's never
Mhm.
actually managed to land in Ippon. And like I said, she's done like crazy acrobatic shit, but she still just wants an Ippon.
Right.
But so like that was like kind of her stuff, at least so far. But as far as the other characters, they kind of have had like full on like flashback scenes of matches in middle school, or like if two characters in a tournament have a history with each other, as two characters do, and part of it,
Right.
like they have a whole they have like a flashback for their history and sort of their motivation going into this specific match. And it does definitely focus on that, because there's also like tournaments. They don't obviously go through a full fucking tournament. They kind of just go
Mhm.
like, here's like the two main teams that we're focusing on with these like 6 characters, and these are the only ones that matter. Their match
Right.
is the only one that matters.
So there's
And
no
then,
cool rival like team that would like.
It's not like Saki where
well,
it's
there
like
is.
you're
Yeah.
taking 50
There is a
chapters of the rival
rival.
teams.
Yeah, there is a rival team against like Toa, the girl with the ponytail, who is like,
Good.
because she's like a what do you call it? Not like a savant. What do you call it? I mean, I guess you could call it that.
A prodigy, child
Yeah,
prodigy.
she's kind of like a prodigy, where it was like
Like
she didn't really do judo, and then the moment she picked it up, she's godlike.
like
at
her
it.
like her
Really good.
muscles were built for judo.
Yeah,
Like
and she
since
Her
birth.
surpassed.
genes. Yeah.
Yeah, she surpassed her like her friend,
Oh,
and
I
like
was
that
gonna say
was, and took her spot in like the team in like middle school, and then that was like what kind of, like their match against each other was like the focus,
so. Like
that
when
sort
she
of
was
thing.
5 years old, she beat her father and won over the judo school, something like that.
Not quite that.
Oh, it's kind of lame. She's not that good then.
But
Well,
yeah,
I don't know about that. But
yeah,
yeah.
so it's a lot of it's a lot of like that sort of thing where, like obviously again, their match is the only one that matters. Like it shows the three people on the team for at least the tournaments that we've seen so far, but beyond that they don't show like, like when one loses to the other, they don't show the rest of the tournament, because who cares?
Oh,
Right.
that's really lame.
Which is fair. I think the tournament we're going to see all of is going to be the upcoming one, where it's like all 5 main characters going into the tournament. Like that we're obviously
Oh,
going to see all of, because that's going to be a tournament that they're actually going through. Whereas
Mhm.
like the prior tournament was kind of just the rivalry thing, more so than it was supposed to be like there to be a tournament, if you know what
Right.
I mean. And spoiler alert, they don't win. So
Do they lose badly? Like super
no,
badly?
no, it's literally like, obviously like the neck and neck.
Oh, all right.
And since it's like, three man, it's not like, like you can have like the rivalry settled, but then like another character lose. Shit like that. So, but again, overall, I think it's pretty good. I think a lot of what's there is good. I just do wish that like sort of the more school parts, the out of tournament, the out of match parts were a little bit better, a little bit more like a little bit more of like an original comedy, because it's like very very like standard comedy that gets pulled in place of something a little bit more unique.
You mean they're just reusing the character sticks over and over again and then adding some slapstick or what?
Yeah, a little bit like that, and just in general, like it is like character shticks and like slapstick. It's not really like a very like unique joke or anything that is made.
Right.
Um, but again, that's not necessarily like awful. It would just be like, this like if that was the case, I think this series would be like, 10 out of 10. Like you have to watch this type deal.
Mhm.
I mean, like what comes to mind is think about like, like the level of like comedy or like jokes alongside like Bochi the Rock or something. Like that
Oh,
was like, that turned that into like a must watch, whereas like, otherwise it would have just been pretty standard and you could say like, oh, okay, it's got decent trivia and like good music.
right. It would
But
have been pretty mediocre. Yeah.
yeah, but those sorts of like, that directing and those jokes kind of way elevated it in like the in between.
Yeah, exactly.
How's the
But
animation of the
other than
actual
that,
judo?
yeah, again, like those are when they need it to be, it's very good. There are parts
Yeah, the
obviously when
way
they
that they
skimp out
specifically put in the
because
money. Yeah.
yeah, there are
It
parts when,
didn't look
they
good
don't
that
put in
both
all the
parts, but
money.
yeah.
But there are definitely some really good shots of like Spire said with like spinning the camera during a throw, different angles, stuff like that. So I think that's kind of been the highlight in a lot of ways, has been sort of like the audio visuals and the pacing during matches.
Mhm.
What studio is this?
This is studio Bakken Record, which has
I have no idea what that
realistically
is.
not done a whole lot. I think
Speed
their
Racer,
biggest
the
claim.
original? Damn, you're old.
Oh, they did
Are
Joran?
they?
That's
No,
weird.
no, they're not. They were established. You're thinking you must be looking at something else because they were established in 2019. So yeah, like their biggest, I would say their most notable thing was Juron, which wound up being not too hot,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
not good.
Even though, as
Was their
far as I
animation
was
good
able to
for
tell,
Joran?
yes.
Yeah,
From what
Joran's
I
animation.
watched
Yeah,
several
yeah, yeah.
episodes, and the like audio visuals, like there were certain parts that were like kind of not the best.
Yeah.
Again, which is very much Mou Ippon,
This is pretty
but the
similar, yeah.
style and the sort of flourish when it needs it is quite
Mhm.
good.
Yeah. They like know when to like pour in the money for the money shots.
Yeah, they know which scenes really need it.
Why
Mhm.
does I went to Wikipedia and it linked me to Tatsunoko Production and I'm like, what's happening here? Is that the same
I don't
thing?
know, are they like
No?
the producer on it?
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean I see Ippon again on here.
Or are they like a splinter? Maybe
This
a
might be a
break off
splinter of it.
studio
Yeah, yeah.
from it.
Maybe a sister studio or something. Yeah, break off.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tatsunoko's Bakken record
I
label. So yeah, it's
guess as
it's under
far
these.
as my like final thought really is like, if you like girls with big eyebrows, check this out.
Don't you mean
And
big faces?
yeah, baby
Yeah,
faces.
that's a running theme. So,
How are the voice actors actually? Because
they're
I
quite
see
good.
Koga Aoi. Koga Aoi
Yeah,
is pretty cool.
I mean the voice cast is very very good. So, with like no real complaints. Nothing's like super crazy stand out, but that's primarily because it's not like the roles are, they're high school girls doing judo. It's not. There's only so much you can do,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Most
Like,
of them are girls that or the female voice actresses are uh people who are I guess um compared to obviously like the people who are here in the 90s or whatever, they're not like super veterans, but they have gotten anywhere from 5 to 10 years of experience relative, a decent amount of years in the scene, with the exception of maybe one or two, right?
Main character is voiced by
yeah, I think it's like with
Ayase
the
Ito.
fifth main character is voiced by a relative newcomer who
Hmm.
really only had a main role. It looks like, oh well, three main roles in the past two seasons, which
Bang Dream.
Yurei
The
Deco
Bang
and
Dream
in
group? Damn.
Summertime
Hmm.
Render.
No, wait, actually
Are
they
you
did
talking
Bang
about?
Dream
I'm
for
talking
a while
about.
back.
Oh no, who are you talking about? Because I'm talking about Anna
Uh,
Nagase
oh, and yeah,
voice actress.
he had a nene who
She
voiced Anna, who is definitely newer for sure. Yeah, she's
yeah,
done. It's been
she's
about
newer, but she's had quite a lot.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yep.
several, I would say.
I'm talking about
Yep.
Ayasa Ito. That's the main character, right?
Yeah, both of them are
She's the
mains.
bang dream chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Teppen,
But yeah,
nice. Oh god.
most of them 5 to 10 years ish of experience. Again, he had a net probably one of the newer ones amongst a lot. But then they are brought up by people like Nagano Maria, Kohara Konomi, stuff like that, Koga Aoi, Tachibana Hina in the supporting cast. A lot of more popular, like random popular people, A tier, A listers in the supporting cast for sure. Yeah. Any last words?
Um. Yeah, there's some bald representation in this show with one of the teachers. So and
Okay.
uh, and he does go after what's her name for having light hair. Anna Nagamo. Because he thinks it's fake. And then he gets reprimanded by the judo coach and teacher, and he
Nice.
apologizes by saying something to the effect of like something to the effect of I know of like the struggles with hair or something, or like I know hair is like a touchy subject or a serious business. So it's
Mhm.
like get some bald representation finally.
Nice.
Uh,
Nice.
so no one's had like a tragic judo like
Tragic judo accident when they
I
were
mean
a
young.
tragic judo accident when they're young and like
the wasn't really an accident. I mean, there was Sanaya's parents not wanting her to do judo in high
I thought
school
you were gonna
because
say
she had
died in
gotten
a judo
hurt.
accident. All right.
No,
So like there's no
no, it was
masked
just like she
judo
was injured, like she broke
antagonist.
her nose or something in middle school,
Eh,
and they kind of
Mhm.
like just like didn't want to deal with that anymore when she was in high school. And
Kind of a
then
letdown not to have like a masked judo antagonist. Like I'm masked judo X. Like I'll defeat you or something.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get that in the next big
That would
tournament. But
that
as far
that
as
would
like
that would
the
completely change my
dramatic
opinion of the series.
backstory was Toa and the other girl who she like instantly surpassed in middle school and then took her spot on the team
Mhm.
unintentionally too. So that was kind of like the big drama, the big moving on point
Mhm.
hill to get over.
Okay. Well, then again, thank you, Dark, for helping cover
Oh yeah, what's
Mou
your score actually? Final score?
Uh Final score probably like 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was Mou Ippon. One more, or once more, or Ippon again, or whatever. It is done again by Bakan Records, who have done Joron and like a couple of other small stuff, probably assisted in a couple of other things as well. And yeah, is this a anime original? What is this, manga original?
It's a manga.
This is a manga
Okay,
original.
okay,
But
manga original then.
can't imagine the manga is honestly that exciting, if I'm being real with you.
Yeah,
I'm sure the art is good. Probably
yeah.
kind of
It's just
like
that
the
it doesn't have
big
the
thing.
judo
It's just that
animations and stuff like that.
yeah, it's like when you don't have the animation, the shots and camera angles, it's not really
Yeah, for sure.
that does pull a lot of the weight, I will say.
Yeah.